Everybody, there's the finger. This must be Brent. Good to see you guys again. Hope it's
Which
good to
finger
see
exactly?
us. The index, the number one finger. Because
The old
we are
pointer finger. Yes.
Yes. So not the pointer sisters, the pointer finger.
Well, I guess both of them. They could be the sisters.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll
Derailed already. You're welcome.
Yep, absolutely. That's Bryce derailing us as per usual. I don't even know that's usual, but we do get derailed easily. I probably ought to look here instead of nowhere else. In any case, episode 70. Thanks for watching. Don't click away. Watch the whole thing. You might find something interesting. You might learn something. You might not. But either way, don't click away so easy. Come on.
Or do.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to this guy. Stay.
I'd be gone already after that. So it's like, whatever.
All right. Well, there you go. Nice talking to everybody. Next week we'll have episode 71. We'll see you then.
It'll be just as fast.
Yeah. So last week, or whenever it was that we recorded and put it up, it's not technically live yet, but I spoke a little about the Fire Stick 4K.
Yeah.
I imagine they all work about the same. And I like it fairly well. I mean, I'm kind of over most entertainment these days, but as far as the device goes, I'm pretty pleased with the speed of it, meaning how it gets through the various parts within it, the different items within the device itself, not so much the internet speeds. That's something that it cannot control. But then there are some things that I didn't like about it. It is an Amazon product, so a little data hungry. At least it seems. I haven't done any deep tests, but my bandwidth usage has gone up since using it. And nothing else has changed in the house, so that would imply, very simple test there, that it is hogging a little bit of extra data, probably concerned about what we're watching and so on. In any case, Bryce mentioned that he has the new, and I don't know the name of it, but the Roku device. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about that, what your pros and cons are and so on. So why don't you take it away there, Bryce? I think he's stuck. What? He's thinking deeply.
Oh, yeah, I was drifting. I already moved on.
He's on episode 71 now.
Roku Ultra is the model that I have. It's the box. It's I guess it would be considered a set-top box because it's not just a stick that plugs into the back of whatever your device is, TV, projector, whatever. It's okay. I paid I'll back up. It's the 2018 version of the Ultra because there's a 2019. There's a newer 2019 version. According to the internet, and you know how it's never wrong, there is very minimal improvements, newness, whatever they're, new features. I honestly forgot. Well, even dishonestly, it doesn't matter. I forgot what they were, but they didn't matter to me, and that's also why I forgot them. They weren't a big deal. That's not why I was getting it, so it didn't matter. But part of the reason I got this one was it's a refurbished or reconditioned, I think they called it, 2018 model for $50 or $60, somewhere around there. The newest ones, 2019 brand new, I believe are $100, maybe 120, somewhere around there. You could probably Google it, hit Amazon faster than I can tell you. Anyway, so I saved a couple dollars. That was kind of nice. I had a gift card to use towards it, so I paid very, 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 very little, which honestly is what it's worth. What I paid, which was about $10 or $15, whatever. That's, in my opinion, I'm kind of harsh when it comes to these because honestly, I don't even dishonestly, I don't know why I say that. This whole podcast is a lie. I don't even like the Apple TV. I don't like the Sony interface. I don't like the PlayStation. Here's what I like, Brett. Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
Do you remember the Zune?
Yeah, I believe you had a brown one, if I'm not mistaken.
I had, and I still do. It's actually right over here. I'm not going to go get it, but it's right over there. That probably had one. Out of all failed and successful products, that had one of the best interfaces that you could use. It made sense. It got you where you wanted to go fairly quickly without a million clicks. And I have to say, with the newest Apple update, I feel like I'm clicking more just to get to start what I want. Super annoying. I think the best interface, the two best TV watching experiences that I've had, and they're all way back in the day. The first one was, it was a Motorola DVR box from, I want to say Time Warner, Cablevision, one of those guys, whoever was here in this valley back then. That interface was pretty sweet, and they actually they licensed the interface from almost like an ex-BMC kind of a thing, which leads me into my next favorite, which was, again, about 7 or 8 years old, but one of the original Plex interfaces. I don't like the new Plex interface. I don't like the Plex Pass and all other that silliness. It's convenient. I do pay for the Plex Pass, but I don't like the interface. And so you get to these things here, and that's kind of why I got the Roku Ultra, because it does 4K, although what I'm presenting it on does not do 4K. But I'm thinking of the future, because I don't plan on upgrading, at least anytime soon. It does 4K. It has an Ethernet port in the back, which is important to me. Interestingly enough, I'm currently using it on Wi-Fi, but I still want that port. I have a Netgear 8-port PoE, power over Ethernet, manageable switch. All things very important to me, in a box under a desk. It'll be installed one of these days. When it gets installed, it'll be plugged in hardwired because it's gigabit. Although the NIC is 100 megabit on the Roku, everything else is faster in the house. So with all of that, that's why I got that model, not the stick, not another set-top box, that more expensive or less. That's why I got that one. A lot of the interfaces are the same. Matter of fact, the Roku interface is fairly similar to the Fire Stick. Oh, I got to sneeze. It's fast, sure. The remote is abysmal. No, that's the wrong remote. It's squishy. You get a push on it. You don't know exactly what you're pushing. Is that the arrow? Is that the up? Is it the enter? Because it's a single 5-way button, I guess it is, up, down, left, right, plus the center. But there's very little separation. So am I getting it right? And then the keyboard, when it pops up, is just atrocious. Fortunately, there's an app, and you can connect it with that, and then you can use your phone or tablet, and then that solves a lot of problems. But
does that work across all applications? For instance, on our Roku, when we would light up YouTube, we would not be able to use the app to type in. We'd still have to do the arrow, select, arrow, select to do.
I want to say that it will, but I'd have to verify. Because I don't use it that often. We pretty much just put on basketball and then just leave it on. So I don't know, but because that's kind of all we got it for, is to watch basketball in this office right now. It'll be plugged into a TV eventually, but right now it's on a projector in a closet. But anywho, the Apple, because I use an iPhone. The Apple remote with it is great. Again, it's not the Apple remote, but the Roku app.
Right.
Interestingly enough, when you're using the remote control, and as an example, YouTube or Netflix, when you're going to type in a search or your password and all that jazz, it brings up a keyboard that looks completely different than the Roku keyboard. It's 1,000 times more responsive. It moves when you think you're going left, it goes left. When you think you're going right, it goes right. Enter is an enter. Whereas in the Roku interface, the one that's built by the company, It's not good at all. So I'm not happy with it on that side of things. When it comes to the video playback, it's fine. It's fine. I've got a bajillion gigabits here, and it's feeding me the data I want. We're good. When it comes to the various options of apps, there's a bajillion, and I'm rounding, but still, it's pretty close. There's all sorts of stuff that I'm like, some people are into that, but that's an option, you know. And then there's your mainstream stuff, so that's great. And I would dare say we're borderline mainstream in this house. I mean, it's NBC, CBS, whatever a sports thing is on, or The Flash, because the kids like that stupid show. Not that I'm opinionated. I try to keep myself away from
I don't know you that way. No.
Yeah. I guess it's okay. You know, parental controls are okay.
Useless?
Again.
Are they?
Well, you know, we have a pretty good system in the house to where, again, this is the office, right? So nothing is on in here unless there's someone else present, and that's kind of how we have it. Our kids just really aren't left, even though they're old enough, they're not left home alone. So there's always plenty of supervision, and just as the companies will remind us that, you know, nothing, you know, there's no supervision better than direct parental supervision. That is, of course, assuming the parentals are actually supervising, but we do here in this house. So it's okay. It's what it's a hair less, I guess, than what I expect. But how much work are they going to put in to do what we want to do? And I would dare say I would want more than probably your average person. I despise the fact that when I open up YouTube, the first thing it says is, are you these people or are you guest? And if you hit guest, it just takes you in. And then here's everything, you know, whereas I would prefer a PIN number. Yes, it's guest. Here's a secret PIN to get into it, you know, if we're going to allow that. Because admittedly, my kids like Rhett and Link, the channel. Mm-hmm. And they're funny and they're enjoyable. They're annoying after 2 or 3, but so am I. So anybody that's still watching right now probably is already annoyed. But there are some of their episodes that we don't find offensive, but YouTube says this is content's blocked, right? So there's an example as to why you'd want to maybe pop over into the guest mode, or I can of course pull it up on my phone and send it over, but that's a lot of hassle. So there's legitimate reasons to have guest mode, but I don't want it to be just the first thing you see, you know, as an option. That's the YouTube app. It was just recently updated to be so in the interface. That's not a Roku thing, but even Roku's interfaces are okay. They're not great. So anyways, at the end of the day, would I buy it again? For what I paid for it, yes. At its full price, no. Now, that's for me personally. I have plenty of friends out here that and family that have the Roku and absolutely love it because setting it up is fairly simple. They don't make it terribly difficult. Once you get it set up and maybe even put the app on your phone or tablet, getting channels on the Roku is dead simple. You just do it all on your device and it just shows up. That's actually pretty nice. So there are definitely some positives to it. But in this house, for what I like, and the family's used to the iOS or the Apple TV interface. So, and my son uses it the most. And he's pretty smart, savvy about all that silliness. And not that my wife or my daughter aren't, they just don't care. They're just like, where's my stuff? I'll give me my stuff. And so it's going to stay. It's not going to make it to the living room, right? This is not unseating the Apple TV. I do like to, one day when I get a 4K TV, I would want to upgrade that one. And then that one, which is the 4th gen, so again, not 4K, but it does have the apps, that might get kicked back into here, and then the Roku either sits in a drawer or is given to a friend. We'll see. I'm not necessarily trying to get it out of the house, but I won't be sad when it's gone.
So for some reason, you do prefer the Apple device over the Roku?
Yeah, I hate the remote, the Apple remote. But
Do you have the one you have has that glass top to it, the touchpad? Is that
I
right?
do, yeah. And then we bought a little Amazon case to make it sticky and that you can actually see at a distance which side is up and down because has a lanyard, which we don't use. It actually gets in the way, but it's there. So I do, as much as I don't like the Roku remote, I like the fact that it's more standardized. You know, I know Apple's pushing the edge there. My son loves the fact that it has a headphone jack in the remote. It's one of those models. So if I'm sitting here, what you can't see is right below the frame of, right here, right below the frame of the camera is a nice cushy, comfortable chair. And on that is a wooden board about yay big with my, I call it a gut arch, cut out of it so it can wrap around me, where I put my laptop and my mouse. And then I actually have a 17 or 19 inch CRT balanced, precariously perched right on the corner. So I've been doing,
CRT?
as Brett knows, did I say CRT? I meant
yeah.
LCD. LCD.
There you go.
So many letters. But as Brett knows, I've been working in Excel and some VBA scripting stuff, and I don't know code that well. I can look at it and go, I think I can probably. And so I'm tripping over a lot, but on that tiny little 13-inch monitor, kill me. That's not going to work. So that's why I got this other monitor. And eventually I'll get a bigger monitor actually in the office/closet. And then that's where everything will be done. But for now, it's on this little situation, which is fine. It's working. I'll deal with it. But anyway, so there are times where Micaiah is watching something. He watches these guitar guys and these other band stuff and skateboard guys. Holy smokes. I know I'm getting old because these guys are so annoying. And they're just kids. They're just acting like kids. But, So he puts the headphones on and it becomes acceptable. They don't say things they shouldn't or do things they shouldn't. So it's an acceptable channel. They're just annoying. So that's the benefit to there. And that's what you don't have with the Apple TV. But again, with the Apple TV, you can pair Bluetooth. This one you cannot pair a Bluetooth headset to without a hack. So I guess there is some sort of hack you can do. So if you hack the firmware, then you can plug in a Bluetooth receiver in the back and then do that or something silly because there's a USB port. But anyways, that's my weird cyclical review. You're welcome for that. At the end of the day, I would say buy it if it's on sale. And I mean like really steep sale. Even the Black Friday sales weren't that phenomenal. The Fire Stick was pretty good price. I almost bought one, but
you would like the, well, I think you would like the remote on the Fire Stick. It's the same size as those other remotes, kind of, you know, it's thin like the Apple remote, the same length as the other two, but the buttons are very tactile and you can tell. I mean, some of them are kind of close to each other, but once you know where they're at, pardon me, it's a decent remote. It's nice and clicky, so you know you hit the button well. So aside from that, but now regarding that Roku, I know you were wrapping it up, but question, come on, man. So what would you gain on that particular one over a Roku stick? Because they have a more powerful Roku stick now, if I'm not mistaken. Does it have like an SD card in it? I know you mentioned it has Ethernet. What else might it have?
What you're getting basically are the more ports. You're getting in the back of course, your HDMI. There's also an optical audio. I don't really use that here because I don't have an audio setup, but that isn't, if you want a full-on, excuse me, 5.1, I don't think it does the new fancy Dolby thing, but it does all the other stuff, 5171. It has an Ethernet port. It has a micro SD card slot and a USB port. So it has a decent amount of ports in the back. And I just like to have as many options as possible. I don't know about the newest stuff on the stick models, but a lot of the stick stuff that I've used in the past tends to get a little warm because they're trying to cram so much down inside there.
Yeah, they do. The Roku especially, yep.
Yeah, so having a little more space gives it some breathing room. And then, I mean, I haven't heard of any stories where they caught on fire, but I don't want to be the first, that's for sure. So that's it. That's it for me. That's it for the, again, review. If you want to see a review or someone's clicking through the remotes and all the menus and all that stuff, right above us here is a search box on YouTube. A lot of great reviews. As a matter of fact, a couple of them are the reasons why I got this one over a stick or over the Amazon or something. So take a look at those if you're interested in that. Or just go buy one. Go buy the cheapest model for $20 or whatever it is on sale at Target or Walmart, whatever type of person you are. That's how I judge people as to which one they go to. And then use it, because at the end of the day, as long as it gives you your stuff, it puts that stuff in your face like you want it to, then you're good. So there you go. How much are you willing to spend for this? And they're all taking your data, so it doesn't matter when it comes to that. Someone's like, well, what's the privacy? No, forget it. Are you on the internet? There's no such thing as privacy. Oh, I'm using a VPN. Yeah, have fun. It's doing a little bit. It's not doing a lot of it. So don't get yourself carried away there. Anywho, that's it for me. Brent, you got anything else to add?
Nope, I think you covered it pretty well.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tolerating me and my rant. You know, I do that so rarely that maybe you should even count yourself as privileged to enjoy it today. Next week, we will talk about something completely different. And if we don't, it's because we won't be here. We'll talk in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4.
At some point. Yep.
Eventually. When we come back with more information, you'll see us. It'll be right above us or below us or to the left or right of us. Enjoy all of that and enjoy your time away from us. So I'm just rambling at this point. I have nothing else to say. We'll see you guys in 71. Ciao.
All right. Take care.